What's up? It's Jobringus, your favorite inefficient reg. Here I am fishing. This is kind of a little embarrassing video because I'm quite certain last time I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be 1300. It's gonna be an easy milestone, not 1300 total. The answer is I didn't really play that much RuneScape this month. I really played for only maybe like 2 weeks in there, something like that. The first week plus a little bit extra, I was actually on a vacation and I just didn't play any RuneScape at all. I had opportunities on my phone and stuff, but I just didn't want to. So I didn't play any RuneScape then for the first like third of the month. And then the last third of the month, um, I've been playing other games. I don't usually talk specifically, but Pikmin 4 came out on the Switch, and I'm a bit of a Pikmin enthusiast. You want to, talk about games from our childhood that, soothe our little autistic tendencies? Pikmin has got to be up there, and free to play. That gets an update like once a year. Pikmin gets an update every like 9 years. So I've been playing that a lot. And what I probably should have been doing is I should have like changed my inventory and just been like AFKing flesh crawlers, because I probably played that for close to 40 hours. And that much of flesh crawlers, that would get me to like 85 in like attack or defense, finish up the strength. So probably should have been doing that, but I didn't. So here I am fishing. I'm only 85 fishing. I did knock out 90 woodcutting with relative ease. I was getting like 300k XP a day doing like Yews, which is, I would say, pretty good. That was probably something like 4 hours a day, probably average. I don't know what the exact XP rate is, but yeah, I was spending a lot of time at Yews because it's very chill and pretty easy, and the XP is good. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what the XP rate is. Maybe it's like 5 hours, but the events, of course, boosted a lot. Last time, again, I gave my Forestry first impressions, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I've had a lot of time to think about Forestry now, since I probably did like, I don't know, 2 million experience worth at probably an average of like 70-ish K an hour. So I don't know, like 20, 30 hours worth of Forestry. And I think I'm in a relatively similar camp to most other people. I mean, I know like the most kind of staunchly conservative players don't even like that the tree cooldown mechanics were changed, but I definitely do remember my stance being that I like that. I actually do like that, because I think that it's nice to promote an element of like social gameplay, like having 10 people gather up at yew trees and make it, not totally suck, and you're not like, no longer you're just competing with bots and your life's terrible. Now it's like, if there's bots, that's actually better for you, and there's real players there. And then Willows is like a popular place to train again. And I think the tree like evaporation mechanics or whatever, I think that might have given a slight boost in XP per hour to methods that were already AHP, like 2-tick willows and like 2-tick oaks and like 2.66 willows. I'm not super sure about that. Someone would have to, step in and correct me. I would assume that it made a little bit of an improvement. And I think most people, they don't care so much about the like necessarily buffs to XP per hour. I think most people care about like the game not feeling like old school. Heybox Young put out a video, I want to say yesterday, maybe it was already 2 days ago by now, but he put out a video really recently where he's basically like, if you care about the long-term health of skilling, like vote no. And it was a lot of stuff about like, the teas and the buff kind of mechanics from Forestry, and it's like, yeah, I get it. That stuff sounds like it sucks. Like, to be efficient, requiring you to like maintain buffs and things like that, and go through these like steps of like gathering some other thing, or just like, it stops feeling like woodcutting. I mean, I think in Jagix's mind they would like to rename the skill Forestry and then have this be the encompassing skill, but like in both in text and and in everyone's heart, like it's woodcutting. And I think that's why most people like, I think most people are okay with the Roots event, even though it's like pretty busted XP per hour, even post nerfs. But like the sapling event, it just doesn't really feel like woodcutting. And I mean, I did them because they're good XP. Since I didn't really play the first week of the month, I didn't get to capitalize too much on like ultra busted XP rates, because they nerfed, I think, the sapling once or twice, and then they nerfed the Roots once or twice. So the XP rates for them are still good. Like I think the most efficient reg like woodcutting now is like you camp in Drainer Bank and wait for a Roots event, and then you do it. And then I don't know if you actually do. I think if the layout's good enough, you do the sapling event. If it's not good enough, you just participate and you collect the XP drop at the end. And that ends up being like, I don't know, 100k woodcutting XP an hour or something. No, it's not that much because you're not doing it the whole time. But I think you get to collect like effective 100k woodcutting XP an hour or more, probably more, and then you also get to like bank stand like crafting or prayer or whatever. So I'm not gonna do that for more than one reason. That's first off, like I don't have that many Bibles left. I mean, I guess I have a lot of prayer left, but I probably like there's like no chance that I'm grinding out like the high level woodcutting levels alongside prayer. Maybe if I feel like going for post 99 XP, like I could do it that way, but I don't really plan on that. And secondly, that sounds like it sucks. And I've watched like Paus's video, and it's like it kind of looks like it sucks too. You need like, well, you also need like a client to, if you don't have like a RuneLite like entity hider plugin, and you don't have something to notify you of the event, like it's not even good. And I like to play on the original client. I don't like my cheap clients. I don't have anything against people who use RuneLite. It's got a lot of really good features, QOLs that are good. Although I did think it was funny that like Reddit was upset that Desert Treasure 2 wasn't in Quest Helper yet. Like, God forbid you have to like read some text. God forbid you read the wiki to solve it, let alone like figure the quest out yourself. Anyways, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. If I'm playing more Pikmin, then I'm probably going to switch to flesh crawlers. But I do still want to like finish off 90 fishing. But again, I might like take a break in the combats. But even so, like I hope that I find the time this month to play again, and then like I don't know exactly what's next. I might have said it somewhere. I think I said it in the clan chat, that I might even do some rune crafting. I've just got like a hankering to rune craft. My only XP in that has just been from like lamp randoms, but I do love like solo body runes. It's come to really be one of my favorite skilling methods. Even though it's like a slow XP rate per hour, I do just enjoy it, which is probably bodes well for me ever getting a high rune crafting level. Well, 80 is already pretty high, even for a reg, because like EHP, body tiaras have been more affordable recently. Not exactly cheap, but someone must have been like banking 200 mil and like stopped, because body tiaras used to just be like fixed, like 1500 GP, or talismans, I mean, and now they'll actually like fluctuate price and they're a bunch cheaper. But maybe I'll do mining as well. Mining, sometimes I get in the groove for, and sometimes I don't. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I mean, and that's very focused. Like the way I'm fishing here is like I'm basically waiting for an inventory. I'm spending a couple ticks to drop it, and then I'm going back and clicking again. And if I were like really focused, I could get a slightly better XP rate if I did, drop one fish at a time, or only one like tick worth of fish at a time, and then went back to fishing. But I don't do that. And this I probably could have been doing while playing Switch games, but you know what? I didn't do that. It's like a little less it's like pretty AFK, but not AFK enough for you to just straight up be like doing something else and not looking at your screen. So, so I didn't do that. But we're probably because of forestry and how much I did woodcutting, that kind of like gained me some time to be on pace for like base 90s by end of year. But then me not playing for like half of this month definitely lost me some time. So probably just slightly off pace, but we'll see. You know, the kind of number that's in my head now is about like 5.3 million. That's how much XP it takes to get to level 90. So in most cases for me, it's about like 3.3 million, 3.35, because it's like 5346 K is like the level 90, and it's like 1986K. Okay, so 534. What did I say? 3.26, I guess, million XP. That's like the difference between level 80 and level 90, which I usually just round off to like 3.3 mil or like 3 mil, depending how much progress I have. And then I kind of think about like, okay, how many days can I, do I need to play to get to level 90? I mean, my rune crafting, prayer, range, defense, attack, and mining all at 80, all within like 100k XP of each other. Mining, I did like an hour or two of mining at some point, but it's still like only halfway to 81. So that's kind of my big thing, is like I'm doing a little over 3 mil XP in skills at a time, which for a seasoned skiller isn't that much, but for me that's still like a commitment. And just figuring out how to chip away at that. I think, let's see, might talk a little more about forestry, I guess. I think the next wave, they want to add one more event to the free-to-play stuff where you chop some ents, and that seems okay, I guess. It seems better than the sapling event. And then I don't know if what's happening with two-handed axes. The whole two-handed axe idea, I don't even know if it's ever going to come to free-to-play, but something about it just seems strange to me. Like, it's got this weird like run energy based mechanic. So it's like, I hope to dear God that the EHP, well, at this point it probably won't, because I think it's going to be like worse than tick manipulation no matter what. But it would be so like sad if the efficient thing to do is you actually just have like a inventory full of energy potions, or I guess they have like the woodcutter rations or whatever, but still it's like you have just an inventory full of like energy restore stuff, and you're just like doing that over and over again and using like this axe swing thing. That just seems not very fun. Yeah, I don't know. So forestry, I mean, I think I'm gonna guess Jagex like went and tried to make it a big update to get a little bit of fanfare. But I really wish that they had just pulled like, hey, what if actually there was a collaborative nature, like a social nature to chopping trees? And that, again, I think that's a good thing. I think it would be nice if we saw that for fishing. Like, if it was good to fish with other people at a fishing spot. I mean, the obvious benefit would just be like you keep doing these kinds of spots. But if it was only like non-fly fishing, like imagine if like harpoon fishing and lobster fishing like had a buff to like using the same spot as other people. Now that I said it out loud, it's definitely apples and oranges, because people don't use up the resource in the fishing spot. I was kind of daydreaming about being like 10 years old and sitting on the Karamja docks mining or catching like tuna, but when I think about it, fishing doesn't need that kind of thing, because it's not like people steal the fishing spot from you. So whatever. But I will say that I've started fishing in World 301 because it's nice to actually like see some people talking from time to time. There were a lot of regulars who would show up at Yews in Grand Exchange. I was doing it at Edgeville at first, and then people there start first off like having two yew trees. Sometimes somebody would like grief, and it would just be, and it would like slow you down. Usually not that big a deal because of how long one tree lasts, but also like that crew started to just get really like lazy. They would just like never do sapling events even when it was worth it. So then I moved over to Grand Exchange Yews, which was a little longer run to the bank, but people there actually did saplings, and having three trees was helpful because sometimes the two closer to the GE would actually run like deplete, and then there was a third tree to go towards. So there were a lot of regulars there, a couple high level players that I saw there. A Netbrick Pro would pop in from time to time. I think I'm trying to remember who else I saw. I feel like I might have seen Pause at some point, but maybe I'm wrong. I think he might have been like testing some rates. But maybe I'm not, because I know that guy's been at Willows a lot. But Yews are like really AFK, which is, it's easy scape, but it's pretty fun. Yews kind of went from being like, oh, your tree might last 5 minutes or it might last 20 seconds to just lasts almost 2 minutes every time, and that gives a nice like regularity to it. I did overall enjoy woodcutting. I mean, it's always been like a fun and chill skill, but it was nice to like woodcut with people rather than try and hop for an empty world and drain our willows. That's like not very fun. So I'm more or less looking forward to eventually doing the rest of woodcutting, although it's probably not going to be for a while. I like to keep these videos a little longer, but because I truly just didn't do much this month, I guess I'm going to end it off here. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope to finally actually get, some real level ups. Oh, I'm so excited. I thought that maybe this was me. Hope to actually get some level ups. Probably should go to the bank and change my gear if I'm going to go play other games soon. And thanks for tuning in.